Hello out there in internet land. This is episode 3. It should actually be the true episode 4, but we'll explain about the episode 4, episode 3 thing. This is episode 3 of the Stop the Damn Match wrestling podcast. I'm your host, Phil Lamington, joined once again with my Formula 1 chat cohort, JB. JB, how are you?
Good evening, good sirs. I'm good.
And our esteemed specialist on wrestling, the professor, Dr. Seamus. How are you, Dr. Seamus?
Not too bad. Bit chilly, but not too bad.
Yeah? So we're here to talk about pay-per-view we just watched. We're a couple of days behind, but that's because I was busy doing other stuff in the real world. We just watched SummerSlam 2021, which was originally aired on the 21st of August 2021 from Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada.
The big Roomba.
Giant Roomba.
And it had quite a lot of people in there. I think it was 51,000 people in there, I believe.
Yeah, that's pretty close to capacity. That's as many people as can fit in like Suncorp Stadium, so that's a proper stadium show. That's probably the biggest crowd they've had this year, considering...
Yeah, Mania was only half capacity, so...
Yeah, Mania was only 25,000, so that's probably the most amount of people they've been performed in front of since the pandemic started, so yeah, pretty cool to see.
Yeah. So, the pre-show, we didn't watch the pre-show, but the pre-show had Baron Corbin versus Big E, just in a match, and Big E won, but Baron Corbin, to the best of my knowledge, still walked out with Big E's Money in the Bank briefcase.
Dirty poor thief.
And then, after the opening of the show, we get to the first match, which is for the Raw Tag Team Championship between the champions AJ Styles and Omos versus RK Bro, which is Randy Orton and Riddle. So I didn't take many notes on this match because, to be frank, there wasn't much going on with it. It just seemed like a generic tag team match.
It was an opening match. It was something to get the crowd warmed up.
It didn't really warm the crowd up, though. I think what warmed up the crowd was how much RK Bro are over as a tag team with the crowd.
Yes.
But in terms of a match, it was very much a flatline match.
Other than right at the end.
Yeah, run of the mill until the end, yeah.
What this match showed me is that Omos is still really limited in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like the first note I've taken here, is that Omos is just really limited.
He wasn't used much in this match. How long was he tagged in for? Like 2 minutes?
Right, 2 minutes, and
Yeah.
then he was on the outside for a bit, and that was it.
Yeah, that's it. Like, he was hardly used in this match, which probably points to how much development he still has to go.
Yeah.
Which makes me wonder why he's on the main card to begin with, if you're that faithless in your talent.
Because he's 7 foot tall and he's cheaper than Braun Strowman. That's why he's on the main roster.
Ooh, economics, okay, that makes sense.
Honestly,
yeah.
pair anyone with AJ Styles and it makes you look alright.
Yeah. Well, AJ Styles had to carry the weight of the match, and he had probably the only highlight of the match was when he did the backflip off the I think it was off the apron.
Yeah.
And then caught Riddle on the outside and turned it straight into a reverse DDT.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
And then the finish of the match, Randy Orton landed the RKO on AJ Styles, pinned him, and RK Bro have won the Raw Tag Team Championship.
I mean, even Riddle didn't get much time in there either, to be honest.
Yeah, he just got beaten down.
Yeah, they got a hot tag on Orton.
Yeah. Well, I gave the match 2.5 out of 5. What are your thoughts on that, JB?
Yeah, I gave it 2 out of 5. Good to see that they're over. Randy Orton looks in phenomenal shape, actually, I'll be honest. He looks great. Very run-of-the-mill match. Randy Orton hitting an RKO out of nowhere to win it. Nothing too flashy or exciting. Just a bog standard opening match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you, Seamus?
Yeah, I'd agree with the 2.5 stars out of that. It was very run-of-the-mill tag team until, as you said, right at the end, the moonsault reverse DDT was probably the only highlight, and then, of course, the finish RKO. RKO always looks good. Can't go wrong with a cutter.
Yeah, it just felt like it was a generic tag team match. Yeah, maybe that should have been the one that was on the pre-show.
Yeah, but it's got titles. Oh, I suppose they've had tag team titles on the pre-show before, so yeah, why not?
But the thing is, that match looked like a catch-as-catch-can classic compared to the next match, which was Eva Marie with Piper Niven, Doudrop, versus Alexa Bliss. Well,
Yep.
okay, my first thing I've written down in my notes is there was a sign in the background that said, Eva Marie is worse than an airport tuna sandwich.
Factually accurate.
I've actually had a really nice airport tuna sandwich.
Well, that wasn't Eva Marie then, was it?
No.
Was it?
And here's the thing about Eva Marie is that like the last time she was in the company, who was head of talent relations at the time, Dr. Seamus?
Isn't it John Laurinaitis?
It was John Laryngitis. Who's the current head of talent? Who's that current head of talent relations in WWE, Dr. Seamus?
What, the current one?
Yes.
Isn't it still Laurinaitis?
It is John Laryngitis. He left and Mark Carrano took over, and then Triple H took over. Then Mark Carrano took over. Now John Laryngitis is back in. And we've got to be enduring Eva Marie. I'm surprised he didn't bring his stepdaughters, the Bellas, back.
Oh, God, please no. Now, while we're still on the topic of John Laryngitis, JB, can you say people power for me?
People power.
There we go.
So even before the match started, there was an Eva sucks chant, and I think that pervaded for the first couple of minutes of the match.
Mm-hmm.
Spitting truths.
The highlights of this match, like Eva Marie slaps Lily the doll. That was probably the most effective offense she did all match.
Well, she slapped Alexa with a doll, so that was a thing.
And
didn't get DQ'd with it, even though she's using a weapon.
It's not a weapon if it's made of cotton.
So if I wrap a barbed wire bat with cotton and hit you with
It's
it...
not a weapon.
Shit, there's a loophole.
something that annoyed me during the match even more than Eva Marie's lack of wrestling ability is that there was one point there where she's been beaten down and she's calling out to Doudrop to help her. And she's absolutely no-selling the fact that she's been beaten down. She's just sitting there calling out to her like it's, pass me another beer. Mercifully, the match ended with Alexa Bliss landing her new finisher, the Twisted DDT.
Which doesn't look too bad, to be honest.
And she pins Eva Marie. Mercifully, that match is put out of our misery. Now, during the match, I believe I actually said to these guys, I think that Jenna Maraska has more talent than Eva Marie. And Jenna Maraska and Queen Charmel had that -5 stars match from TNA Victory Road. Before I give my ranking, look, I'm going to ask JB, what did you think of this match?
All right. I'm about to cut a bit of a promo here.
Go nuts.
Which is terrible considering this involved Alexa Bliss. Everything about this match fucking sucked. Alexa Bliss's music sucks. Piper Niven needs her fucking name back. Eva Marie sucks. The doll sucks. the fact that Bray Wyatt is sitting in the crowd at AEW lends me to believe that this fucking storyline with this doll and demented, crazy Alexa Bliss is never going to get a fucking conclusion or an explanation. So now we're stuck here with this fucking creepy Alexa Bliss, this creepy doll, this gimmick that she stole off Bray Wyatt that if he signs with AEW, which he might, because why else would he be at a pay-per-view or their Monday night show?
Maybe he just likes wrestling.
Maybe he just likes wrestling, or maybe he's already signed the fucking contract.
Majority, probably.
Like, we're never going to get this fucking shit explained, which is even worse because I'm bored of it already.
And it's not doing Alexa Bliss any favors.
It's not.
Because the crowd is only cheering for Alexa Bliss for two reasons. One, she's hot, and because everyone just fucking hates Eva Marie. Eva Marie doesn't have go away heat. She's got X-Pac level go away heat.
Yeah, we don't want her here.
Yeah.
You know, and some idiot, John Laryngitis, keeps on giving her chances because she looks really pretty.
Yeah.
Has women's wrestling, right? So I'm gonna have a rant, and I'm sorry I've cut off Sheamus here, but
No, I like hearing rants.
women's wrestling since Eva Marie fucked her way into the WWE the first time has evolved. It's evolved with women like Charlotte, Becky Lynch, Bayley, Sasha Banks, Tessa Blanchard, Mercedes Martinez, Toni Storm, Rhea Ripley, even Nikki ASH, Britt Baker, and many other talent. And here we are with this one person that John Laurinaitis and Bruce Pritchard and that senile old bastard Vince McMahon are so set on, who is the last dredges of a wrestling style that involved bullshit matches like pillow fights and bra and panty matches.
Divas.
You know, when they were divas.
They were eye candy. Like, they were
Divas.
They were glammed up. They were Playboy models that could fucking do some flips and shit. But, you know, even back then, you still had Trish Stratus and Stacy Keibler
Lita.
and Lita, and they could all fucking go.
Molly Holly.
You know
They
what I
could
mean?
all fucking go. Like, even if they were there for their looks, they could all fucking go still. And it seems like it was them, and then there was the Women's Revolution with, like, Paige and AJ Lee and Becky Lynch, and they all fucking, the levels went up. And now it's dropping again.
I mean, hell, they had
Even with Charlotte back, yeah, we'll get to her match later, but the levels of fucking women's wrestling seems to be dropping again.
Yeah, I mean, they had, Evolution, which was an all-women's pay-per-view, and it was good.
And they haven't done it
was
since.
good.
They haven't fucking done it
Yeah.
since
And
because
they dropped all the talent, and they're like,
there's no
oh,
fucking
what do we
talent
do
left.
now? Like, well, you dropped all your women's. Well, your women, what do you expect's going to happen?
Yeah.
The tag team titles are back on NXT. What happened to the women's titles?
Yeah.
They went into redundancy because no one gave a shit about him anymore. It was on Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler for fucking ages. Nobody cared.
Yep.
And going back to... Sorry to cut you off, Phil.
No, go nuts.
Going back to the Eva Marie match, Nia Jax is better than Eva Marie. That is saying something.
Yeah, because she is an absolute car wreck of a wrestler, but at least she can do moves.
She can do a fucking Samoan drop. I don't think I've seen Eva Marie do a single move other than maybe slapping her with a doll.
Slap a fucking doll.
Literally no
That's a
move.
Yeah. And
Not even a clothesline.
and the saddest thing about it is that Piper Niven, who is a talented wrestler,
is standing on the outside as a fucking bodyguard.
Yeah.
Like, doing nothing.
like trying to be Diesel from 1993 or 92 or whatever.
Where's
Yeah.
my glove?
But the difference is that Diesel, when he came in, was Shawn Michaels' bodyguard. Shawn Michaels could wrestle. Diesel had a clue and could wrestle. In this situation, Piper Niven, Doudrop, Viper, whatever the fuck you want to call her, can wrestle. Eva Marie should be the eye candy standing outside as the manager.
Yeah, the one that can wrestle is guarding the one who can't fucking wrestle.
And what-
It's the reverse Omos AJ situation.
And what pisses me off even more is that Eva Marie, who's a talentless hack who should not be anywhere near a pro wrestling ring, she shouldn't even be in the building having bought a ticket to watch people who can actually do the damn job. She shouldn't even be there. She should be going and doing Playboy magazine or well, OnlyFans is shutting down their shit in October or whatever. So that rules out her getting onto OnlyFans and selling herself, because that's the only fucking thing she can do properly. While people like Tony Storm, who can out-wrestle her, are sitting at home, sitting there going, when am I going to get another shot on TV? Because I debuted on SmackDown for one episode and then got fucked off.
Not to mention the amount of fucking talent that's been cut, the Iconics.
Yeah, that's exactly
The
where I was about to go.
Iconics.
Even the Bellas, I know we
Yep.
hate them, but they can still fucking half go.
Yeah.
Like the amount of fucking women's talent that's been fucking cut,
Half the Riot Squad.
half the Riot Squad.
Yep.
They're all fucked off sitting at home waiting for their next opportunity.
Ruby Riott apparently has signed with AEW.
Yeah, well at least she's
Good on her.
She was talented.
yeah.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yep.
You've got, I mean, they let go of Mickey James. They let go of Mercedes Martinez. Mercedes Martinez was a slightly more charismatic Shayna Baszler.
Yeah, and she was a legitimate fighter.
Yeah.
Like, she actually had skills.
You had the Iconics, who they weren't the greatest in the ring, but they were entertaining.
They could cut a good promo. People love
Yeah.
them. Because they got the Aussie accent, eh?
And it's just aggravating me to no end that a spot on the second biggest pay-per-view of the year behind WrestleMania has a match between Alexa Bliss and some talentless, useless hack who should not be on TV. And I said it earlier, and I'll say it again. Jenna Maraska had more talent than that stupid cow, and that stupid cow has been in NXT and had training for multiple years, even worked with the Brian Kendrick to try and get better. And it did not work. And yet, that idiot John Laurinaitis keeps rehiring her because she's really pretty and, oh my god, sex sells and blah blah blah.
Meanwhile, she's standing across the ring from Alexa fucking Bliss.
And yet he is the same idiot, John Laryngitis, who told AJ Lee that no one would like her because she is not sexy.
She is sexy.
AJ Lee is one of the most beautiful women around.
And fuck, she could wrestle.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Paige.
Where's she now?
Paige AJ.
AJ Lee is married to CM Punk, and she writes books.
Yeah, she's an author.
Yeah.
Good on her. No, I meant Paige, actually. But
Paige, she had to retire because of her neck.
yeah, right.
Got re-injured after she came back.
Yeah, because she had surgery and she was with Alberto Del Fuckhead, and then she came back, got kicked in the neck by Sasha Banks on a house show and caused a massive stinger, and they said, no, that's it.
Yeah.
Not on purpose, too. It was
Yeah.
just an everyday kick. But yeah, and she went on Twitch for quite a while.
And she was on that show with Renee Young that CM Punk
Talking
showed up
Smack.
on. That's right. And then that show got taken down, and now Paige is just in limbo.
She's on Twitch. For
Yeah.
A bit, streaming.
There you go.
But
So you want to see titties? Go see Paige.
But I mean, Paige was such a talented wrestler in the ring. I don't know why they don't have her at developmental helping the younger talent.
That's it.
But
because
then
she can't take any bumps or anything like that. They don't want to risk it.
oh, that's fair.
Yeah, as an advisor, yeah, but yeah, they couldn't have her as a trainer because she can't actually go in there and
Yeah.
do the moves, which sucks, especially for all the backstory that Paige had with her family being in the business. It must kill her on the inside knowing that she can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
I feel for her.
But her with an injury that can never wrestle again, she still has more talent than Eva Marie, who does not deserve to be in that goddamn ring. And the same goes for Carmella. I think Carmella should jog on. She's a talentless hack as well. And another residual that's left over from the period of Layla, sorry, but Tori Wilson and Stacy Keibler, they were never great in the ring.
Stacey was a manager though.
Yeah.
Stacey was good eye candy
Those
manager.
legs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
But
You know,
going back to Carmella. Sorry, Phil. Going back to Carmella, she's okay for like comedy and promo. Her with R-Truth was actually good. Like
Yeah.
it was entertaining. It was quite entertaining. They should have kept her in that role, or even as a manager. When she was a manager with Enzo and Cass,
Yeah.
she was good. Put her in a manager role. Don't put like she's got a couple of moves. Yes, don't get me wrong. She's better than Eva Marie. But put her as a manager role or in a comedy role. Put her in there. Put her with the 24/7 guys again. Don't put her on a main event. We'll get there.
yeah.
All right, I'm done talking about this. Now,
Yeah, let's go to the next.
Well, hang on. So, what score out of 5 do you give the match?
I was going to give it 0.5, but I'll bump it up to 1 because Alexa Bliss's shorts were really short. 1 out of 5, purely because of Alexa Bliss's booty.
The size of her pants? 1.
Yeah, that's it.
Can I give it a minus?
Yes.
-4. It doesn't get -5 because of Alexa Bliss.
I gave it a -3 because of Alexa Bliss and for Piper Niven.
Okay, yeah, actually, yep, I'll go with that too.
Yeah.
It's another one for Piper.
it wasn't the complete car wreck that Jenna Maraska and Queen Charmel did in TNA Victory Road.
But it wasn't far off.
But yeah.
Oh, good. Only good point about the whole match is Piper broke up with Eva
And Alexa Bliss's outfit.
and Alexa Bliss. Two good points.
Right.
Moving on.
Now we're going to calm down a little bit now that we've just had a rant about talentless hacks.
Put the golden shovels away, boys. Let's move on.
Bunnings Warehouse. So the next match on the card is the US title match between Sheamus and Damian Priest. Look, my first note on this match, and I made this one fairly early on, and it pervaded all the way through the match, was this felt like a pretty just generic match.
This was slow and flat.
Mm.
I couldn't get into this match in the slightest.
I had zero care about the storyline, and I really can't get behind Damian Priest.
What storyline?
It's like his character has no depth to it.
Yeah, he's not relatable.
You know,
Yep.
like I have no idea about why he thinks he's the Archer of WWE and why everything's got to be looks like it's associated with the Hunger Games or something.
He's got a cool look and he's got some cool moves, but he's just completely unrelatable.
And the thing is, you look at him and you think that he looks like a Native American,
Yeah.
but he's actually from, I think, Mexico.
Yeah, he's Mexican, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Wow, righto.
He's really tall for a Mexican.
Yeah.
Yeah,
really
super
tall.
tall. Mexicans aren't super tall, but he is.
So, my first point was about halfway through the match where Damian Priest does a spinning wheel kick from the top rope onto Sheamus, which I thought was a pretty cool move.
X-Pac once he's moved back.
And then Priest went to do something from the second rope. Like he was jumping on the second rope. As he turned around, he ate a brogue kick, but it wasn't a very good brogue kick.
It was more like a knee. He didn't get very good extension.
A broke knee.
Yeah.
And eventually he ripped off Sheamus's face mask that he's been wearing to protect his face.
Cody Rhodes wants his gimmick back.
Yeah, ugly Cody Rhodes wants his gimmick back.
And then Damian Priest hits the Reckoning and wins the US title via pinfall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was just a generic match. Like, I expected more from Sheamus,
Yeah, I did too.
you know. And I've also seen Damian Priest do better in NXT, so the bar for both of them was set a lot higher than what they delivered. Sheamus, what are your thoughts on the match?
I'll give it a 3.5. I mean, Damian Priest was pretty solid. His moveset's pretty solid, but again, as you guys have already pointed out, it fell really flat. The storyline was absolutely horrendous. Pretty much it's, oh look, Damian kicked Sheamus in the face with his mask on. His mask gets ripped off. Oh, look. Here's have a match. Let's have a match at SummerSlam. That was the whole premise of it. Like, who really cares? Try a bit harder with the storylines so people can actually get invested in the matches, and then we give a shit. That's half the problem with some of these matches are just, oh, give me a match, or give me a title match. Okay, let's do it. Put a bit more effort into it, come on. But yeah, again, the two wrestlers themselves are good, but it just fell flat. You couldn't really get into it and get invested in the match.
How about you, JB? What do you think of it?
Yeah, man, I'm giving this a flat 2 for a flat match. It was, yeah, like we've already covered, uninspiring. It was flat. It was lethargic. It was slow. And we've seen better out of both these guys. You see MMA fighters and boxers go out and you get about halfway through their fight and you can tell they're just there for the paycheck and they're just cruising for a points. If this was an MMA fight, this is just two dudes going for the points decision and not wanting to take damage, because that's what it felt like. Just none of them, they didn't want to step up a gear. Like at SummerSlam, in front of the biggest crowd they've wrestled in front of since the coronavirus shut everything down. And they're out there just willy-nilly half-assing seemingly everything. It was slow, it was flat. I don't know if it's just these guys don't have chemistry.
Yeah, they didn't seem like they had chemistry.
Yeah, this is just like, if this was a boxing match or an MMA match, it's just like,
well,
it's two dudes out there looking for a paycheck.
You bring up a boxing match. You know what boxing match it reminded me of? A boxing match from earlier this year where it was Mark Hunt versus Paul Gallen.
Hey, you can't say that.
What, Mark Hunt? I could say Mark Hunt.
You can say Mark Hunt.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Sheamus is being sick again.
Yeah, I know where you're going with that. Yeah, very much in it for the money. But, super disappointing. I mean, Sheamus is right. Two wrestlers in their own merits that have shown in the past that they can be brilliant in the ring. It's just neither of them seem to bring their A game or B game or even C game tonight. It was pretty woeful.
Well, I gave it a 2 stars out of 5 as well. And I thought I was being brutal about it after the previous match. So, 2 stars out of 5 with that one. So then the next match, which was the SmackDown Tag Team titles between the current champions, the Usos, versus the Mysterios. Now, this match had a much faster start, and it started off all right. Dominic was quite solid to begin with when he was in the ring, and he managed to hit the 3 Amigos, which was a nice little touch. The Usos were doing pretty solid tag team wrestling as well, constant tags and that. But God, they were doing a lot of talking in that match. Like, particularly when Dominic was in the ring, they were doing a lot of talking. It felt like there was a lot of stalling because of Dominic's inexperience. Eventually, Rey Mysterio tags in, and he does a moonsault off, I think it's the second rope or something. Does a moonsault onto one of the Usos and then turns it into a tornado DDT, which was nice. It was a nice little maneuver. As I'm turning the pages. Ray ended up getting super kicked while going for a springboard. And then he kicked out of the pin for that. Ray goes to do the frog splash, but it gets blocked by the Uso. And then Jimmy, I believe it was Jimmy. I get their names mixed up all the time. Jimmy hits a splash on Ray, gets the pinfall, gets the win. So the Usos retain the SmackDown Tag Team titles. John, what was your thoughts on that match?
This one's another flat 2. This feels like the 1,000 millionth time I've fucking seen the Mysterios versus the Usos.
Yeah.
I think it is.
Yep.
I'm bored with this storyline.
I think the only thing about this match is that they're teasing that Ray and Dominic are going to be splitting up and that Dominic might be turning heel.
Okay.
But frankly, I don't care.
I've seen too much. I think I've seen too much of the Usos. I've seen too much of the Mysterios as well. I think I'm just bored of both these tag teams. And they just keep throwing them together because they have nothing else for them to do. Yeah, I
Because
mean...
they cut everyone else.
Yeah, I mean, like, the only good thing is that Ray can still go at a seemingly high level.
Yeah.
After all these years, and Dominic's slowly but surely getting there. The Usos can still wrestle pretty good. They've still got good chemistry. But another flat, boring match that I couldn't get invested in. Yeah, it's just another run-of-the-mill tag team match, much like the opener. Probably a little bit quicker and a little bit more, polished. But, yeah, not... didn't really wet my whistle.
How about you, Dr. Seamus?
I'll give it a 3-star. It was entertaining enough at the start. It did slow down a bit in the middle. Then it picked up again, but again, as you guys already said, we've seen these guys a million times before. They're great wrestlers, but there's only so much you can see of the same guys over and over, be it 1-on-1, 2-on-1, 2-on-2. You can only see these guys so much. You need to spice it up. You need to put them with different people, put them against different tag teams. Oh, wait, there is none at the moment. That's the problem, is the roster, they've cut so much good talent, they don't have any tag teams left. They split the good ones up. I mean, look at bloody Otis and...
Heavy Machinery.
Why split them up? And then they released...
Tucker Knight.
Yeah, for no reason. Only because they split them up and like, oh, shit, we got nothing left for him now. And now the tag team division is stale because no one's there.
Because they put Chad Gable with Otis.
Yeah, I mean, they're good. Don't get me wrong. Olympic Academy, I think they're called now. But again, you had Otis, you had Gable and crap, I'm out of my blank now.
There was
Alpha Academy.
Yeah, because there was Chad Gable and the guy who ended up being the storyline Kurt Angle's son, but then he hurt his neck. So then they partnered Chad Gable up with Shelton Benjamin.
Which was a great team too. Though Shelton Benjamin was good and they gave him something to do. I haven't seen Shelton Benjamin for ages.
And it felt like it was World's Greatest Tag Team 2.0.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that because World's Greatest Tag Team 1.0 was fucking awesome.
Yeah, I mean, Charlie Haas was great, and Chad Gable makes a really good replacement.
Absolutely.
For Charlie Haas.
Because he had the technical, know-it-all to be able to wrestle at that level with even Shelton. Shelton's a great technical wrestler, which I'm sad we don't see more of him. Even at his age, he can still go. He proved that.
Isn't he teaming on Raw with Cedric Alexander?
He did for a little bit with Lashley, but they broke them all up. I haven't seen him for ages, it seems like. I haven't seen him for weeks. Just seems like they're just sitting in catering, just doing nothing because WWE wants to put the same two fucking tag teams together again instead of using someone different. Have a tournament. AEW are doing a tournament right now. And it's actually entertaining to watch because their tag team division is got enough people to make it fresh.
Well, how about this for an idea? Because a couple of years ago you had the two Mae Young Classics.
Yeah.
Then they also had the Cruiserweight Classic.
Yep.
Why not have a tag team classic?
The Dusty Rhodes Classic.
No, but I mean that's NXT. Like having their own standalone show, like the Cruiserweight Classic. Invite teams from other independent promotions or whatever to join in for like they did with the Cruiserweight and the Mae Young Classics, and then sort of try and sign teams up from there. It's because Vince McMahon doesn't like tag team wrestling.
That, and I think that WWE are now being a lot more picky on who they're actually signing, which is a shame because before they were like, fuck it, let's just sign all the talent we can. We got enough money, so no one else can sign them, and just have them sit in catering and do nothing. And then people wonder why, and then WWE wonder why people were like, actually, I don't want to be in my contract anymore. Can I get the fuck out?
Yeah.
Look at Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, well, I mean, AEW is actually starting to really look like a viable option now. So people want to jump ship, but they don't want to have scripted promos. They want to have decent matches. And they just feel like they're inhibited and limited by a senile old man who really needs to go and retire, or at least get 10 hours worth of sleep so then he can come back as a sane human being.
But if he gets more than 3, he'll die.
Yeah. So what star ranking did you give this match?
A 3.
3. I gave it 2.5 stars. I'm bored of seeing the Usos. I'm bored of seeing the Mysterios. It's time for something fresh on SmackDown with the tag team division. It's either that or unify the tag belts and have a tag division that's comprised of all the tag teams that the main roster has.
100% do that. 100%.
So in the next segment, which... why this was even on the pay-per-view, I don't know. But it starts off with... I can't even remember his first name. Boogs. Rick Boogs.
Hey.
Bringing out the Intercontinental Champion, King Shinsuke Nakamura, for the sake of bringing him out.
Yeah.
Gotta have your Intercontinental Champion on the show.
So
standing in the middle of the ring to play his entrance music on guitar.
So let me get this straight. We've got a match with Eva Marie and Alexa Bliss on the card, but we don't have the Intercontinental title being defended on the show. Right. Yeah.
Did Shinsuke have an opponent lined up?
No. They didn't have any opponent. He's not in any feuds at the moment too, which is fucking stupid.
It's just like, hey, look, we also have an Intercontinental Champion. He's not wrestling, but don't forget he's here. Okay, bye.
I'm okay with Boogs coming out and playing his theme. They were having a good time. It was entertaining.
Yeah, but it didn't. It would have been cool if someone walked out and interfered and set up a fucking
that
rivalry.
would have been 100% better if that happened. If
but
someone came in and just
it was just like, don't forget, we also have an Intercontinental title belt, and this Japanese guy has it.
I have an idea. I think that they're setting up Elias versus Boogs, because Elias is burning his guitar and has like a gravestone saying, "No, Elias, whenever his gimmick started to whenever it finished now." So I have a feeling those two are going to feud because one of them plays an instrument, the other one doesn't.
Yeah, but Elias didn't come out. Like
it would have been the opportune moment for him.
There was no point to this fucking waste of 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And also, Elias is on Raw. Boogs is on SmackDown.
Too. Aren't they doing a mix-up soon?
Not until Survivor Series. The draft is in a couple of weeks too.
Yeah, the draft.
But Elias, I think Elias is getting rid of the gimmick because Rick Boogs is doing the gimmick. So he's got a new gimmick or whatever. But I look, honestly, I think Elias's days in WWE are numbered if this repackage doesn't work.
Which sucks because I like Elias.
So do I. He can talk. That's a good thing. So
he's good here.
I hope that
his
they
ring
give him
skills aren't. His ring skills aren't great, but fuck, he can talk. He can get a promo.
He's a power guy.
Yeah,
so he can do like power bombs and stuff like that. Give him movesets like that. Like, don't give him a moveset like Braun Strowman. Please give him something a little more advanced than that, because he's not, as heavy as Braun, so he can actually move a bit. He can
give
do
him a
top
big
rope
fucking
stuff.
clothesline and a fucking power bomb, and he'll
give
be
him
fine.
Kane's moveset, like old school Kane.
Yeah.
There you go. Give him a fucking choke slam. Give him a top rope clothesline because he can do it because he's big enough but not too big to be able to pull that off.
Yeah.
Give him that.
Yeah. I don't want to see him get rid of Elias because I actually find him quite entertaining. But
and he's jacked.
Yeah, he's a big boy. He's a big boy. People forget that. But
yeah.
Anyway, back to this useless piece of shit. Not Shinsuke, obviously, but this fucking filler. Like,
it was an unnecessary segment.
It's like
it really was.
Filler episodes of Pokemon. Just get to the battle, for fuck's sake.
Then we get to the SmackDown Women's Championship. So it was originally supposed to be Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks. Then they announced that Sasha Banks isn't attending.
Was she legitimately injured?
I have no idea.
I didn't hear any news.
Yeah.
I think so.
Poor girl.
So then Sasha Banks was replaced by Carmella.
Mm-hmm.
And Carmella was about to get set for a match. And then in probably the biggest or the second biggest pop of the night, the man, Becky Lynch, returns and comes on out, attacks Carmella, and then challenges Bianca Belair for a match then and there for the SmackDown Women's title. And Bianca Belair agrees.
Saving it from getting booed out of the building, by the way, because when Carmella walked out, people were not pleased.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus.
And all Becky Lynch did was punch her in the face, kick her in the gut, and hit her with the manhandle slam, which is just a rock bottom. Pin Bianca Belair and wins the SmackDown Women's title in 20 goddamn seconds. Congratulations on burying Bianca Belair.
I think it was actually 7 seconds.
It was less than a minute.
It was less than 30 seconds. What? We've made the point that Bianca Belair was keeping the title warm for Becky Lynch. But fuck me. What a perfect representation of keeping the title warm.
Well,
how about you drop the belt in 7 seconds to her the minute she walks back into the fucking company?
Well,
that's horseshit.
You know what this reminded me of? The very first episode of SmackDown on Fox, where from WrestleMania you had Kofi Mania. And Kofi won the WWE Championship from Daniel Bryan. And then he held it all the way through until the first episode of SmackDown on Fox, where he got beaten in 7 seconds by Brock Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar.
That's what this felt like. And it really showed to me that Vince McMahon had faith in Bianca Belair, and then he went cold on her and went, "Oh, we can have Becky Lynch back. We'll put the title back on her." And
Straight back on her. Straight back on her, like he's just got his hand-picked guys that he wants holding belts.
Yeah.
He's got Roman, he's got Becky, he's got Charlotte, he's got
Lashley.
Lashley.
Banks
He just, and it's shit because it's all these guys that held the fucking belts before injuries and pandemics and shit. And then as soon as they come back in the fucking company, they get the belt straight back, and it's like, oh, cool, we're going to set up this fucking feud that should have happened 18 months ago, but, Becky got pregnant and such got hurt and yada, yada, yada.
The only one at the moment who is a new guy getting a run with the title is Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's doing a great job.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he's been a good heel champion.
But the initial thing of Bobby Lashley getting the title was he had some screwball finishes to beat Drew McIntyre. And that feud kind of ended with a puff rather than a big bang.
Mm.
And I thought Drew was going to win the Money in the Bank ladder match and have another crack at Bobby Lashley and take the title belt back, because Drew deserved a run with the title in front of a crowd.
Yeah, how the fuck did they get cold on Drew?
I don't know.
How did he fall out of title contention so quick? He was a massive draw.
Yeah, he carried the company through the COVID era.
He would have been a massive draw, but there was no one there to watch him, unfortunately. But
Well, he kept the TV ratings steady.
exactly, and he didn't get to celebrate. I think as soon as the crowd, because he was champion going into Mania, wasn't he? As soon as we got a crowd back, he lost the belt.
Yeah.
So he actually hasn't been champion in front of the fucking crowd.
Yeah,
He's had title matches in front of the crowds, but he hasn't won the title back.
Yeah, he won the title at WrestleMania in the fucking warehouse.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the Performance Center. Yeah.
And he was champion when no one was allowed to go to events. And as soon as people came back, they fucking took the belt off him. And they haven't bothered putting him anywhere close to putting
And
it back on him.
I will get back to Drew McIntyre in a sec because he comes up a bit later. But as a as a pop to bring Becky Lynch back, it was great. But at the same time, it felt like it was a burial of Bianca Belair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a fucking kick in the gut to her. You know, made history, closed WrestleMania with Sasha Banks. Made history, you know, 2 black women closing the show. That's awesome.
Closing night 1.
Yeah, well, whatever. Main
Yeah.
eventing WrestleMania. I mean, okay, it was a 2-nighter, but you were on the main poster of night 1. Like, that was your face. And to be buried like that in one move is just the biggest.
Slap in the face.
You could have at least fucking just cut a promo and set it up for the next pay-per-view.
I think
Like, she didn't have to drop the belt to Becky like that. Like, that's just... She's been done dirty hard, man. And I hope she gets an instant rematch. Cause
yeah, that's where I think it's going. I'm pretty sure because they're keeping Becky as the man persona, I think Becky's going to be the face and Bianca's going to be the heel because she's going to be like, well, you screwed me out of my title because I wasn't ready for it. And then she's going to turn into a heel from that. Because she, at the moment, as a face, Bianca's a bit iffy on promos. She can go in the ring, absolutely. But turn her heel because she's a much better heel than she's a face. But I reckon that's where they're going with that. And, yeah, I was reading one of the comments on Facebook about it and they agree with me, apparently.
Yeah.
We haven't even put this episode up and people are agreeing with it. So how many stars do you give it, JB?
It wasn't a match.
Wasn't it a match?
It wasn't a match. NA. Non-applicable.
How about you, Shay?
Agreed. Wasn't a match. For the pop, I'll give it a 5 because the pop was fucking amazing. But the match itself, nah, NA.
Yeah, I agree. The pop was better than the match with the air quotes there. I wrote it down as a 1 out of 5. Like the match.
Not a match. It wasn't a match.
Yeah. Speaking of not a match,
Mm-hmm.
the next match, Jinder Mahal versus Drew McIntyre. I've got 3 lines of notes here. Slow Hoss match. Drew hits Claymore. Drew wins via pin. It was another vanilla, generic, boring, I could have gone and taken a piss and come back and I wouldn't have missed anything match. Just, I don't know why Jinder Mahal's in the company, really. I mean,
Because he went away and got on the fucking steroids and came back as a jacked monster.
Well, it's also because they were like, oh, we need an Indian to promote in the Indian market.
And do you know who the Indian market fucking loves more than anyone? Roman Reigns. I'm not kidding.
Yeah, but you know what's even funnier is that Jinder Mahal's not even Indian. He's Canadian.
Oh, man, I've been lied to. This is like when Yokozuna wasn't actually Japanese. He's fucking Hawaiian.
He was Roman Reigns' brother.
It's like Kane wasn't fucking Undertaker's real brother.
What? He wasn't his brother?
Rowdy
What?
Roddy Piper wasn't Scottish. He's fucking Canadian.
He wasn't Scottish?
No, man, it's like... Next you're going to tell me Santa Claus isn't real.
Well, Santa Claus isn't real?
Oh, kayfabe is
Yeah, he is.
dead.
It's Mick Foley.
Kayfabe is dead.
No, she's not.
Katie Vick is dead.
Oh, that's...
No, she's not just our Triple H.
What are your thoughts on this match, John?
The
Jinder Mahal, Drew
Only-
McIntyre.
only, like, desperate fucking straws WWE could have clutched to was that these two used to be in the fucking throwaway 3MB tag team. And they didn't even use that as a build-up promo. It's just like, hey, you two want to wrestle at SummerSlam with no build-up? Yes. Okay. Go out there for 10 minutes and do your thing. Nothing. Nothing. It just makes Drew... I mean, he won, but it just shows how far out of main event status favor Drew has seemingly fallen now.
Yeah, because, I
To
mean...
just have a nothing match on
Wait.
on the third biggest pay-per-view of the year, behind the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania.
It's the second behind WrestleMania.
Be close.
Yeah, but it's funny because the 2020 Royal Rumble, between Drew McIntyre and him, eliminating Brock Lesnar, and Edge returning, they were the two biggest pops of the Royal Rumble. And then Drew beats Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania in front of no one, but everyone at home popped over it because Drew was the guy we wanted. Fast forward a year and a bit,
and he's wrestling Jinder fucking Mahal on SummerSlam in a nothing match.
Nothing storylines since he finished the storyline with Bobby Lashley.
No storyline, no title, no build-up. Just go out there and wrestle for 10 minutes. You're a fucking filler match. Sorry, dude.
And it's such a shame because Drew McIntyre deserves so much better.
I'm giving this a 2 as well. Very fucking disappointed. I feel bad for Drew. Like, fuck Jinder Mahal. Like, he's nothing. I hope he doesn't see another title. The only reason Vince likes him is because he's put on fucking 50 pounds of muscle through the special sauce.
Yowie wowie sauce.
Yeah. Dude looks like Indian Batista now. Even though he's Canadian. Whatever.
Canadian Batista.
Yeah, just fucking...
Feel
bad for Drew.
How about you, Shay? What do you think?
I'll give it a 2.5 only because Drew is there. That's the only 2.5 it's getting. One for each nipple, and then the sword.
One for each nipple, yeah. One for the sword.
But yeah, it was just a really dull match, which sucks because as much as I love Drew, it's just nobody cares about Jinder or his two lackeys that replace the Singh brothers. Nobody cares.
Yeah, they need to move them over to SmackDown for them to be effective, I think.
Yeah. Put them in a tag team. Add to the tag team division. Oh, shit, there's an idea. No, Vince will never do that.
No. Yeah, I gave it 2 out of 5. That's just... It was a take it or leave it match, and I'd rather leave it somewhere else. The next match on the card... Now things are picking up. Next match on the card is for the Raw Women's Championship. There was a triple threat between Nikki ASH versus Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair. And I've got a lot of notes here, actually. Like, it started off, as opposed to the last couple of matches that started off slow, or pretty slow, or borderline normal speed. This started off with a lot of fast action between the three people. It kind of reminded me of the deleted episode that we recorded.
Yes, the secret episode 3 that no one will ever hear, unfortunately, because it's awesome.
Yeah, where it was a triple threat or three-way dance between Nunzio, or Little Guido, Tajiri, and Super Crazy. This was that kind of action at the start, just a step behind.
We should divulge the pay-per-view as ECW One Night Stand.
Yes. Well, I will explain more about that a bit later on. But, it had fast-paced action where one person would land a move on one and then another person would land a move on one. And it flowed. It flowed really well. And this match actually showed that there was really great chemistry between particularly Charlotte and Rhea Ripley. Those two work really well. Not so much between Charlotte and Nikki. Like they sort of skipped a step or two, but they're still pretty solid. And then about halfway through the match, this was when it started getting really interesting. Rhea Ripley landed a massive missile drop kick off the top rope onto Charlotte. Then Nikki landed a crossbody on both outside the ring. Charlotte reversed a double suplex into a double DDT. That was a great spot. Rhea Ripley was dumped over the top rope and landed funny and tweaked her knee. It was kayfabe though. Yeah,
no, she landed clean. But yeah, kayfabe.
It was a bit of a funny landing though. Like she landed on her feet, but then bounced.
It was double-footed, but then she bounced. But she's okay.
Which it did play into the finish of the match though.
Yeah.
Charlotte did the corkscrew moonsault from the top rope onto both of them on the floor.
I keep forgetting she knows how to do that move. It's pretty fucking impressive.
Yeah, Charlotte is more athletic than we give her credit for. We think that because her old man is Ric Flair, and Ric Flair, to be honest, was not the most athletic person going.
No, but he didn't have to be. The style at the time didn't demand him to be.
Maybe he was athletic in the bedroom. That's something we don't really need to know about.
He must be Space Mountain.
Well, he's got 7 kids or something.
And
he's on like his 5th marriage.
He's a 90-minute man, isn't he?
60-minute man.
Same old.
Eventually, Charlotte puts Rhea Ripley in the figure 8, and Nikki does a splash and breaks it up. Then Rhea Ripley goes to do the Riptide onto Nikki, and Nikki turns it into a DDT. Nikki goes for a splash, and then Charlotte locks in the figure 8 onto Nikki, and Nikki taps out, and Charlotte wins by submission. So, my thoughts on this match. I thought it was a really solid match. It was really good. And for me, it was when the pay-per-view started to pick up. I gave it a 3.5 stars out of 5. I would have given her a 4-star. My only problem with the match is, do we really need Charlotte Flair to be the champion again?
Said it once, I said it before. She's trying to catch up to her daddy.
And why? Like, Rhea Ripley did not get a solid run with that title. You know, she won it at WrestleMania from Asuka, and she dropped it, Money in the Bank, was it?
Speaking of that, what has happened to Asuka? I haven't seen her in a while.
They've got nothing for her, so she's off TV at the moment.
They got nothing for one of the arguably the best female wrestlers that they have.
But they've got something for Eva Marie.
For fuck's sake.
Yeah, they're going to have Eva Marie versus Alexa Bliss, but Asuka's just going to sit at home.
So Asuka versus Eva Marie and just get her to break her.
Asuka versus Alexa Bliss, at least something would happen.
Oh, no.
They fought before.
Oh, no. I agree with Shay. Asuka versus Eva Marie, and tell her to kill her.
Just get Nia Jax versus Eva Marie. Get Nia Jax to put her through a fucking announce table.
Like Lana did 9 times.
Yeah, but...
Lana had more talent than Eva Marie.
But make this one hurt.
At least Lana tried.
Don't pretend. Do it for real. I would like to put the title back on Rhea Ripley. I think she deserves a longer and better run with the belt, rather than just slap it on Charlotte Flair because it's the easy thing to do. So I would have given her 4, but I'm frankly sick of Charlotte holding the belt. JB, how do you feel about it?
Exactly the same as you, mate. I was going to give it 4 as well, but I bumped it back to 3.5 for the same reason. Charlotte Flair once again champion, same way Becky Lynch is once again champion. It's just like Vince has his fucking handful of 5 champions that he just wants carrying the company, even though we're sort of bored of them. And there's so much more talent that could be done. But good match. You know, Nikki's showing good signs. You know, she can go. She can be a fast-paced wrestler, a high flyer, technical. She's good. She's showcasing her wares in her ASH, SHIT, whatever the hell she is, persona. Rhea Ripley, once again, shows she can go with Charlotte Flair. She's got good chemistry with Charlotte. I wish she was still champion because, yeah, it sucks that she was transitional champion as well. But yeah, no, solid match. Just, yeah, annoyed that once again Charlotte has the title in the same way. But at least she earns the title back, unlike Becky Lynch, who just walked out and took the belt off Bianca and walked back.
To defend Becky Lynch, though, like, she had to relinquish the Raw Women's title to Asuka because she got pregnant.
that doesn't mean she can't fucking earn it back in a match.
True. It's
You know,
very
you
true.
don't just fucking walk out there, hit one move on a champion who earned her spot at the top of the women's division.
She won the Royal Rumble, so
What?
she's more than... I mean, Bianca Belair won the Royal Rumble this year.
Remember when Goldberg beat Brock Lesnar in like 90 seconds, and like this was after Brock Lesnar had beaten Undertaker at WrestleMania?
Yeah.
And it like killed his credibility, or he beat The Fiend in like 3 seconds, or Kevin Owens, and it was like Goldberg just killed the credibility of like 3 guys in the space of like 18 months.
Just
Wait, Johnny, did you just shit talk Goldberg?
Yeah.
just
Why?
to point out something too, because there's a lot of reports online about how Bray Wyatt got released, and one former writer, Freddie Prinze Jr., who's also a Hollywood actor, he was saying that the reason why Goldberg squashed the Fiend for the Universal title in like 90 seconds or whatever was because that was when Vince McMahon had finally gone cold on Bray Wyatt. And that's why he had him squashed.
But that's it. Yeah, but I mean, that's not the point I was making. The point I was making was Becky Lynch just crushed Bianca Belair's credibility in 7 fucking seconds.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point? At least Charlotte getting the belt here, she actually had to go through a match to fucking do it. So, you know. But it's more of the same old shit. I mean, we're not going to get Charlotte versus Becky at least. Not for a while. Not unless they're going to have an undisputed women's championship, which probably won't happen. But
I think the match will happen at Survivor Series. It'll be champion versus champion. No belts on the line, but
yeah.
you got brand versus
Has Night of
brand.
Champions been on yet?
As who?
Night of Champions, has that been on yet?
Not that I remember.
I don't think so.
If they have that this year, then there you go.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be for, you know, you're not walking out with all the marbles. It's
Yeah,
just
no,
champion
Night of
versus champion.
Champions. Night of Champions won't be, brand versus brand. It'll be every title being defended.
Oh, yeah, it's
Yeah.
not. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so at least we're not going to see Becky versus Charlotte straight off the bat. But
yeah.
just sucks how Bianca lost credibility like that. But, you know, I mean, you can still set up, I don't know if the fans particularly want to see it, but Charlotte versus Rhea, because Rhea can just come back with the, oh, you didn't beat me.
Yeah.
You didn't make me tap out, you made Dinky tap out, but see what happens, mate.
How about you, Shay? What do you think?
I give it a 3.5. It was a pretty solid match. It was entertaining enough. Winner kind of was predictable.
Yeah.
Again, you straight away predicted the title was going to change hands.
Oh, because the title belt had Velcro on the back, not
Yep.
because of the pins.
Yeah, so that and I was hoping Rhea would win, but unfortunately Charlotte got the win, which, as I said before, she's trying to catch up to her daddy's number. I have a feeling that she will very soon. Maybe towards the end of the year. Maybe. Hopefully not.
Yeah,
But yeah, as you guys said, it sets up a few more things at least with Charlotte winning. And
Yeah.
she's always going to have good matches. She's Ric Flair's daughter. I mean, what else can you expect? She's amazing in the ring at what she can do. She plays an amazing heel. Don't get to play face. She's not the best face in the world.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
she
she's
just plays
not.
a good, cocky heel. And she has the skills to back it up.
Whereas I prefer Rhea Ripley as a face. You know.
Absolutely. Like
And
an
it-
anti-hero.
And she seems to sort of embody a lot of the Aussie pride type thing for me. I mean, I know she's a goth metal chick, but she seems like a really good representative of Australia and to the world.
We had the Iconics. Oh, wait, we don't anymore.
No, we don't have them. I think they're going to Impact though. So the next match on the card. Edge versus Seth Rollins.
Now we're
So-
getting somewhere.
So,
Now we're turning the week
Edge's entrance.
up.
Oh, between that and Becky Lynch, I think Edge got the bigger pop.
Yep.
Not by much, but because he cracked out the old Brood entrance and entrance music, which you play that music, you're going to get a massive pop from, particularly like of people of our generation that watched the Attitude Era.
Yeah.
So
Or
we
brought
all
him to the
know what the
dance.
pood,
You know what the
the
pood
pood.
is.
It's a new faction of WWE. It's the pood. It's a shit faction. The Brood.
It's a dark brown fecal faction. Can't call it poo.
Oh, here we go. Yeah. So the entrance was amazing for Edge. Like, he started off with the Brood entrance and then got halfway down the entranceway and went into his regular theme.
Walking out through a ring of fire, by the way, Brood style.
Yes. While wearing a pair of sunglasses. Yes. The match, it started off slow, but unlike the Hoss fight between Jinder Mahal and Drew McIntyre, it was slow, but it was a technical slow. It started off slow, but you could tell that these guys were building it towards something. Whereas Drew and Jinder it started slow, the middle was slow, and the ending was slow. This started off slow, but it started off slow with technical stuff.
That's more experience, I think. Plays a big factor with that. Both Seth and Edge are, they've been doing it for a long, long time.
And they got very similar styles too.
Mm.
Yeah.
Edge and Edge Light.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't too far off the mark by calling Seth Rollins Edge Light. And a lot of similarities, man.
Yeah.
Made it for a fucking brilliant match.
And even the story leading up to this was good too.
Yeah, like
And
a
they-
proper build-up. Like
Yeah.
probably the first match of the night that had a proper fucking build-up.
Long-term booking as well, Seth trying to stomp Edge's neck back when it was Cena versus The Authority.
Yep.
Yeah. At one point, Seth has Edge in the ropes and is choking him with the ropes. And Edge isn't making any sounds, but Seth is making some really weird groaning sound, which... it was weird. It was real weird.
Seth's unstable, what can I say?
But we fast forward a bit. Like, my notes are sort of skipped the first sort of bit of the match. So I picked up when Seth lands the 5-star frog splash. It was nice to see them refer to his frog splash like it looks like RVD's 5-star frog splash.
It's as close as you're going to get to it.
Yeah.
The rotation in the air.
Yeah.
Edge lands the swinging neck breaker off the top rope. That looks solid as.
Yeah, that was snug.
You don't see him too many these days either.
And then Edge landed the Edgecution.
Yep.
That's the DDT, isn't it? The
Yep.
Edgecution.
The sideways DDT.
Yep. And then he landed the Edge Factor, which was
It's an inverted X Factor.
Yep. The where, or as JR would say, where it would make him bottom out. Then Seth, they fought for a bit, and then eventually they ended up on the top rope, and Seth landed the superplex into the Falcon Arrow.
Yeah, that was sweet.
It gets me how he can land the superplex and then just spring straight up and go straight into the Falcon Arrow.
Yeah.
Rocks you too.
That's brilliant. It's always good to watch.
So then they fought for a little bit more, and then Edge landed the Glam Slam. He landed his wife's finisher.
Yep.
Yeah, 10 points for Gryffindor there. That was great. Seth landed a neck breaker on the middle rope. That's right. He did a neck breaker and he snapped it over the middle rope.
Which looked nasty too.
Yeah, it looked snug and very, very, very good. Edge speared Seth through the ropes to the outside. To be more accurate, Seth was on the apron and Edge speared through the middle rope onto Seth and drove them both to the outside.
It's a spot that Edge has done quite a few times, but it always looks good.
Most memorably, he did that with Mick Foley
Through a
at
flaming
WrestleMania.
table.
Through a flaming table, yes. And then Edge puts Seth into like a bulldog position and runs him head first into the LED screen that's on the beneath the ring apron and completely kills an LCD screen. Or LED screen, sorry. Oops.
Yeah, It's not how LEDs work, by the way. I think that was gimmicked.
I think so too. They're too expensive. They'll have to sack another decent wrestler.
You're going to have to break up another tag team to pay for that LCD. The screen broke up.
Oh, sorry, I mostly got to
There goes the Street Profits.
Okay, bro, you're out.
Yeah.
Fuck yes.
Then after that, Edge goes to do a spear on Seth Rollins, and he catches it and turns it into a pedigree.
Yeah, it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
It wasn't the greatest pedigree, but how do you hook someone's arms while they're trying to do a spear to you?
It was enough. Like, it was still the same motion. It was still driving the knees beside their head.
You got Edge just has his arms back while he's doing his spear, and then you just get
Yeah, just
hook his
telegraph it.
It was cool.
Just everyone see that you're going to be turned into a pedigree.
It's fun, though. It was a cool counter. I liked it.
Now, unlike Michael Cole, Dr. Sheamus here can actually call the moves properly. Seth attempts, and if you're listening, Michael Cole, this is what the move is called. Seth attempts the Phoenix Splash, but misses, and then gets speared by Edge.
triggered me so much.
Yeah. That's what happens when you get an idiot who can't call a match.
So for you guys at home, by the way, Cole called it a corkscrew moonsault, even though he was facing the other way. It is not a corkscrew moonsault.
Should have done a shooting star press. Isn't that right, John?
Best
Phoenix
move
Splash is
going.
better than a shooting star, though, because you're doing another flip.
Wait.
Hey.
Shush.
And then Seth starts attacking Edge's neck by punching him and kicking him in the back of the head, including hitting is it a bull hammer? That was
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Bad News Barrett's move.
yes.
Yeah, the bull hammer. What
Well-
happened to that guy? Fuck, he was good.
He's the commentator for NXT now.
Nah,
Yeah.
He's pretty good, too.
another good talent that could probably still go if Vince wanted to bring him back.
Yeah, Vince didn't want to bring him back though,
Nah, we'll just bring him
because
back
he's
over.
got no idea about talent.
Because
We'll
he's
just
afraid he's
bring
got some bad news.
That's it.
And eventually, Seth goes to do the curb stomp onto Edge. Edge catches it, turns it into the Educator, which we haven't seen for a while,
Yeah.
and then into the Crippler Crossface. Oops, it's just the Crossface. Don't want to make too many mentions of Chris Benoit. And then proceeds to bludgeon Seth's face into the mat,
Mm-hmm.
Remind me of Lesnar.
and then slapped on the crossface sleeper. They called it a crossface sleeper because he had a sleeper with one arm and had his hand across his forehead with the other one.
Was that anybody's finisher?
That's how he won the match.
Yeah. That's his new finisher. But I think it was someone's finisher. No, I'm thinking of Crossface Chicken Wing.
Yeah. So Edge wins the match via submission. I thought best match of the night. Easily the best match of the night. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Seamus, what do you think?
Yeah, definitely agree. 4.5. That match was far and away the best match of the night. Really good technical match between the two. Edge can still go. And what did it was a little slow at the start, but as you said, it was a slow technical build. Edge knew what he was doing. Seth, of course, knows what he's doing. Perfect match between these two. Only reason it doesn't get another half a star is because there's no title involved.
Yeah, I think it'd be nice if they got perhaps the Intercontinental title involved in this or something.
Put Nakamura in there, make a triple threat.
Yeah. That would give Nakamura something to do.
Nah. No way. I don't want to see Nakamura in this.
Yeah, true. The
I
build
want to
for
see
this was
Seth
just
versus
good.
Edge 1-on-1, and we got it.
Yeah.
And it was fucking brilliant.
I don't think it's over though. I think
Seth won't let it go. It's just the way Seth is.
yeah. So what did you think, JB?
Yeah, mate. I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 as well. I think it was the match of the night. Two guys that match up perfectly stylistically. Big moves, big pops. Superplex in the Falcon Arrow, spears. Edge coming out to the Brood entrance and putting on moves that we haven't seen him do in like 20 years.
It's like a history of Edge.
Yeah, it was like it was Edge going back to the dark place, and there he was, and Seth complimented him perfectly. It was a great match. It was a far and away match of the card, and Edge got the win, which is awesome. And if they want to run it back at Extreme Rules, go ahead, because I don't think anyone will complain.
Concertos galore.
Yeah, exactly.
So then we move on from that match to yet another pointless segment that really should not have been on the show. The Miz, John Morrison, and I thought both the New Day were there, but it turns out it was just Xavier Woods. But Xavier Woods dressed up as Scott Hall.
Complete with toothpick.
Complete with toothpick and New Day parody of NWO apparel.
Wolfpack edition.
Yes. And he even had the toothpicks and did the survey. And he even said, "Hey, yo." I got a shout out for Tim for that one too. Because that's how we greet each other. Hi, Tim. Hey, yo. But yeah, this segment was utterly pointless. It really was. It
wasn't pointless. It was advertising for that fucking water company that was on that truck.
Yes.
Pure fresh water, whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah, well, if they're going to advertise that, how about you put the segment on Raw?
I mean, it wasn't quite a fucking beer hose, was it? It was a
No.
super soaker from an office water bottle. I mean, a little bit fucking...
Yeah, it wasn't a beer bath. It wasn't a milk bath.
It wasn't a mud bath. It wasn't a bra and panties match. It wasn't Trish Stratus's boobs.
Still, it's a pretty cheap water gun,
It
though.
wasn't Alexa Bliss.
Sorry, I just went down the rabbit hole. No, it was
He
fucking...
opened the forbidden door.
It was fucking pointless. It was nothing more than a fucking advertisement for water. For fuck's sake.
Yeah, it was just completely redundant. Didn't need to be there. So we're going to move right along.
I feel like bottled water. How about you guys?
Sort of thirsty, actually. Got any pure fresh water over there?
I've got beer in the fridge.
That's right.
Special batch. So the next match on the card was the WWE Championship match between the champion Bobby Lashley and the gladiator of a man, Bill Goldberg.
Gorg. Mighty Gorg.
Gorg.
Okay, can one of you guys explain this? What is the go with Gorg?
In the top of the stadium, there's the SummerSlam sign, but in the middle of the sign is the Jumbotron. So it cuts off half the fucking LED screen behind it.
Because this is as Goldberg's coming
So
out.
instead of it saying Goldberg, the screen in the middle's cut it off, so all you can see is Geo at the start and RG at the end.
And it has in the middle Goldberg walking out for his entrance.
Yeah, so it's just like Gorg.
Gorg.
Mighty Gorg. Which suits him. Suits him well.
Fair enough. Look, this match really was nothing special. Again, it was a slow hoss fight, but look, Goldberg can't go like he used to. He's past his prime. It's Goldberg for me is starting to feel like Taker was a couple of years ago, where they're just trotting him out.
We were waiting for him to fucking retire at WrestleMania, and he kept coming back the next year. And it's like, why? Yeah, nah.
It feels like they're sticking a cattle prod in the corpse of a cow, hoping it'll wake up and come back to life.
It's like trying to resurrect Fire Lap and get him to run a Melbourne Cup.
That'd be cool, though.
That would be kind of cool.
He's been dead for like 50 years, though, but
He can still go.
like Goldberg.
Vince McMahon reckons he can still go.
He can still draw money. He's got some beef, pal.
That's some beef, pal.
At one point, Bobby Lashley tried to jackhammer Bill Goldberg, but thankfully it was blocked. Goldberg speared Lashley outside of the ring, and Lashley bounced off the mat and actually dunked his head on the base of the ring post.
Looked painful.
Outside the ring. Yeah, he held his head, so clearly he wasn't prepared for it. Lashley tried to put on the Hurt Lock, but Bill Goldberg fought out of it. By this point,
What a gladiator of a man.
Bill Goldberg had like problems with his knee or something in kayfabe in the story. Lashley ran Goldberg's knee into the ring posts over and over and over again. Got Goldberg back into the ring. Goldberg couldn't stand, and the referee stopped the match, leaving Bobby Lashley to be the winner and retain the WWE Championship. And then he started wailing on Goldberg with a chair until Goldberg's son Gage came out and he got put in the Hurt Lock, and then a whole bunch of talking and a whole bunch of blah, 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 and Goldberg yelling, "I'm going to kill you.
I'm going to kill you."
I gave this match 1.5 out of 5. It was just pointless. And it was funny seeing Bobby Lashley getting cheered by the crowd. But when Goldberg came out, the crowd was actually booing him, but they were piping in audio of people cheering him, so it just sounded like a complete mess. So, JB, what are your thoughts on the match?
Well, even though my inner 12-year-old was fucking jumping up and down because it's my boy Goldberg, I have to point out, too, the knee injury was caused in kayfabe by MVP whacking him with the cane in the back of the leg when he was lining a spear up. I'm going to give it 2.5 because I'll give it the extra half because it's my boy Goldberg. But, yeah, another run-of-the-mill match. Power move versus power move. Lashley eventually overpowers him with the help of MVP. Gets the heel win. Gets his son Gage involved, which I guess is okay if Gage is wanting to follow a path in pro wrestling, but I don't know if he's going to. He doesn't look that big. I mean, I know he's only 15, but he doesn't look that big. He's not like Dominic anyway.
Well, his mum is actually a stunt woman as well, so...
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see how that goes.
I don't think he's going to get into wrestling. I think he's just there to further the storyline along.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, at least the end of the match shows that there's going to be a rematch at some point. I heard it's going to be at the Crown Jewel pay-per-view, but we'll see.
God.
We will see. I mean, we know how much Saudi Arabians love Goldberg. And how much Undertaker doesn't love Goldberg in Saudi Arabia.
And how much Goldberg and Vince McMahon like money from Saudi Arabia.
That's it. 2.5. Only giving it the extra 2 to put it ahead. I mean, the extra half to put it ahead of the Alexa Bliss abomination and the other abominations at the start of the night because it's my boy Goldberg. So good on you, Gorg.
Bill Goldberg.
Good on you, Gorg.
How about you, Dr. Seamus?
I'll give it a 1.5. It was the only screwy finish of the night. I'll give it that. Oh, sorry, our second screwy finish of the night. Looking at you, Becky Lynch. A knee injury for Goldberg, really? That's the way you try and make him still look strong. Goldberg hasn't looked strong since fucking WCW.
This is the same idiot who punched a limousine window and sliced his arm up. So I kind of find it a little bit silly that a knee injury.
Yeah, and it didn't even make him look strong.
No.
Like, get him pinned by Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley is a big guy. They've been making him look strong for quite a while now. He hasn't lost in a very long time. Who cares? Have him pin Goldberg. It makes him look even stronger. And Goldberg gives him a rub. And I think it's exactly right. I think they're just prolonging this until Saudi Arabia so you can get Goldberg down there and they can just rake in a shit ton of money. And then Saudi Arabia can kidnap a whole bunch of WWE superstars again. Who knows?
Yeah, the Taliban are back.
That's Afghanistan, you idiot.
Yeah, enough's good enough.
It's all desert.
It's all sand people.
Oh.
Mate, it's not Tatooine.
It is.
It's not sand people.
It is. It's oil country, baby.
That's the same sound JB makes when he goes fishing and he catches a fish. It says that.
You assume I can catch a fish. Silly Phil. I'm not going fishing to go fishing.
That's when he's going fishing.
Go
And
fishing.
camping and he catches a great northern
I go
in
fishing
the wild.
I go fishing to catch a hangover, boys.
Oh, God.
The only fish I'm catching is a marlin. This white one on this bottle. This episode of the Stop the Damn Match podcast is brought to you by Great Northern.
It's brought to you by Pisswasser. Fuck the Dutch.
Fuck the Dutch.
All right, we get the... Oh, bloody hell. We've completely hijacked our own podcast. Okay.
All right.
So the last match... Fuck.
Ladies and gentlemen, Phil is experiencing some technical difficulties. He'll be back with you in just a sec.
Experiencing some technical difficulties.
I'm
Come
alright
on.
until I start to try and talk, and then
It's okay. Podcast isn't about talking.
it's the engagement. It's about connecting on a personal level.
13 YouTube viewers, and we appreciate you.
That's why we've set up a Patreon. No, we haven't. All right, here we go. Woo. Next match, last match on the card, is the Universal Championship between Roman Reigns, the champion, and John Cena in what I've heard around the traps is John Cena's final match. But I'll believe
He
it when I see it.
Didn't act like he was leaving, retiring.
Yeah. Now, again, this one had a slow start.
Yeah, but,
And it was a slow start for quite some time.
yeah, but it was just like a main event fight feel though from the start. I liked the slow build up. It's like when you let the two heavyweight boxers go out for the first couple of rounds and feel each other out. That's what it felt like. Like I you know, I'm a fan of slow starts in big matches, I guess, just because it gave it that big fight feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it gave me a dozing off feel. Because I dozed off a couple of times while we were watching it.
I thought I heard snoring.
Each to
I
their
wasn't
own.
snoring. But I noticed Roman Reigns was doing a lot of shit talking and just really geeing up the crowd and which it's nice to see, particularly with a heel who is that over as a heel. And he really is over as a heel. Like, people absolutely hate him. So, you know, kudos to Roman Reigns or Vince McMahon, whoever made the decision to turn him heel when he came back last year. Because if he came back as babyface, he would have just been booed as much as he was before the pandemic and before he disappeared. So about 15 minutes in is when it actually starts to
Resemble a match.
resemble a match, because my note here says 15 minutes in, Cena finally starts doing shit.
Cena finally starts doing shit.
Roman Reigns hits a Superman punch.
Wow.
Cena hits the AA.
Wow.
Cena locks in his incredibly shit STFU.
Wow.
Reigns hits the drive-by.
Wow.
Cena AA's Roman Reigns through the announcer's table.
You know what this needs in the middle? The Batman 60s. Blow, plam, biff, whack. Adam West style.
Or the Transformers cartoon when the logo changes and you hear that.
Yes.
Cena goes to do his ridiculously shit leg drop off the top rope, and Roman Reigns catches it and turns it into a powerbomb. Cena counters the Superman punch with an incredibly shit roll-up. He can't do a roll-up, can he? He just can't do
tried it
a
about
roll-up.
5
He did
times.
27 of the fucking things in the match, and none of them were good.
Surprise roll-ups don't work anymore. Everyone
like-
knows they exist.
He's like doing surprise roll-up training mid-match, and he still can't fucking get it right.
Surprise, surprise. Roman Reigns hits the Superman punch.
Biff.
Roman Reigns spears the post.
Pow.
Pow.
John Cena performs the Super AA from the second rope.
Crash.
He's dead.
My God, it was broken in half.
John Cena and Roman Reigns trade punches. Reigns, surprise, surprise, lands a Superman punch.
Wham.
And then eventually he hits a spear. And Roman Reigns wins and retains via pinfall. I gave this match 3 out of 5 stars. Seamus, what do you reckon?
I give it a 2.5. It was so slow. So very slow. Don't get me wrong, Cena's good for a draw, but he still does the same 5 moves.
What's
Over
worse
and
is
over and over.
What's worse is that Roman Reigns' entire offense is Superman punch, Superman punch. Oh, look, let's try something a bit different. Superman punch.
Spear.
I will occasionally do the drive-by. We'll do a power bomb occasionally, but it requires someone else to do the leaping for me.
I'm going to do the raw for the spear, not do it 3 times, and actually land it on the last one.
Oh, he's got to do another million Superman punches. I mean, for fuck's sake, Roman.
And
There
he can
are-
wrestle better than that too, because look back in NXT, he could actually wrestle.
That's what I don't get. Like, chuck in a suplex.
He didn't even do a Samoan drop, I don't think.
No. And he's Samoan.
Yeah.
And he's been doing Samoan drops.
And it's his stock in trade, being a Samoan, doing a Samoan drop.
And headbutts.
Because if you're not Samoan, it's just a drop.
Yeah.
And headbutts as well, he's Samoan.
Yeah. Just
And
not diving ones, because
he-
you're not going to kill your
He
family.
just sits there and does a Superman punch. It's like his Superman punch is his get out of jail free card.
Yeah.
It's absolutely redundant. And then he'll land a spear.
And it just condensed it. It enhanced that feeling too, because you put it with Cena, and he's only got limited moveset.
He can't do the STFU.
It's like Hulk Hogan versus Ultimate Warrior.
It
It's
is.
just like
It is. That's exactly it.
2 big power dudes that only have 3 moves each. It's like a Pokemon battle.
You can't learn any more
Yeah,
moves. You got to forget
can't-
one.
You can't learn any more moves. You've already learnt 4 moves.
Would you like to?
Would you like to discard a move?
Would you like to discard the leg drop for a top rope stunner? Except
No.
it's shit.
Top rope stunner is
John Cena-
highly effective.
John Cena forgot leg drop and learned shitty stunner. Diddly-dee.
Your shitty stunner has missed.
Yeah, your shitty stunner has failed. John Cena used roll-up pin, but it failed. John Cena used roll-up pin, but it failed.
John Cena uses air, but it botched.
Roman Reigns uses Superman punch. He's slightly effective.
Roman Reigns uses Superman punch. Roman Reigns uses Superman punch.
You were out of PP.
You're out of PP for this move. Roman Reigns uses spear. It's literally a Pokemon battle.
That's so true.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, I'm shitting all over this match, but I actually thoroughly enjoyed it. It had a big fight feel. I thought it was great. I actually gave it 4 out of 5.
What the fuck? That's
Yeah.
only because you.
Because
Because
I
you
just
love Roman Reigns.
I just love the intensity of the match. I really did, honestly. I thought it was, it's heel Roman in his peak versus last chance saloon John Cena, who's one of the best of all time.
Not enough shitting star press.
Well,
Minus
no.
5 stars.
Minus 5 stars. No, I enjoyed the big fight feel of it, especially being in Vegas, the fight capital of the world. I thought it was great. I actually thought it was a really solid match, but each to their own, I guess.
How about you, Seamus?
Already.
Oh, you have too. God, I did a James Hetfield moment.
You forgot the lyrics.
No.
Better make up my own lyrics. Just say yeah a bunch. Yeah. Ooh, yeah.
Who in here's got Kill 'Em All? Oh, we've done that one, right. Okay, who in here's got Ride Lightning? So, yeah, it was a pretty solid match, but it just took a while to get going. To the point where I actually did nod off a couple of times. I was just resting my eyes so I wasn't yawning all the way through the recording this.
Absolute lies.
But the best moment for this match happened straight after it ended when Brock Lesnar returned.
Looking like a
Fucking
lumberjack
Lesnar.
Viking.
He traveled 10,000 miles to give you his seed.
The Demon Seed.
He looks ripped as fuck.
He's a big, scary man. I mean, he always has been, but you throw in that Viking, like, ponytail and that big-ass beard. Yeah, he looks big.
But I don't think he's going to face Roman Reigns at Extreme Rules.
Not straight away. They'll build that up.
It's going to be Crown Jewel.
I didn't even think of that. But please give me face Lesnar and heel Roman.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
okay
they're
with
not going
that.
to turn Roman face, are they?
But that being said, who's Heyman going to be with?
Roman Reigns.
Yeah, he'd probably stick with Roman.
He's
But-
better as a heel.
That means Lesnar actually has to actually cut his own promos.
Look,
Oh,
man,
Which is
just
good
like-
because he can talk.
Just hire Jim Cornette.
he's cut promos in the UFC, and they were good promos.
He cut promos back in WWE when he was with against Angle and stuff like that, and it was good.
He told Frank Mir that he pulled a horseshoe out of his ass and fucking beat him over the head with it when he beat the piss out of him at UFC 100. Like, he can cut a promo. He can cut a promo off the cuff.
No
Absolutely.
enhancement needed.
No announcement needed.
So, with that said, we have a slightly new rating system for the pay-per-view. Like, each match we rated out of 5 stars, or in one match's case, in the minus. But for the pay-per-view itself, its overall grading is out of 5 cheese graters, due to our lost episode of ECW One Night Stand 2005 and our illustrious cohort, the Yellow Devil Shogo, and his infatuation with the cheese grater.
I'm sad you guys didn't get to listen to that masterpiece.
We are going to
good.
re-record it. We are going to re-record it next time we have the Yellow Devil in
With
our,
our Asian
in our presence.
correspondent.
Yes, our man from Japan,
Our international correspondent, multicultural.
our foreign correspondent.
His depth perception is terrible, but he's here.
We're not racist here at all.
Well, we weren't being racist when he was here, because he was here.
Yeah.
It's not racist. It's not racist if he's in the room
He
with us.
listens to these
We here
things.
don't condone racism at all.
Oh yes, we do. Hi,
That's
Shago.
that's
Love
Johnny going into a shoot promo right there.
you. Love
He's
you,
full on JBL right there.
Cowboy hat.
buddy. Cowboy hat. Bullhorns.
The only reason, JB, why you're on this podcast is because Triple H didn't want to work Tuesdays.
It's not even Tuesday.
No,
It's only Monday, you dickhead.
I'm on holidays. It's all right for me.
Yeah.
So I would give this pay-per-view, I'm going to give it a 2.5 out of 5 cheese graters. You know, it had a couple of really good matches, but it had just 3 complete dog matches, and it's just dragged the rating right down. Like it's something that's crawled out of hell. It's dragging it into hell. So 2.5 cheese graters for me. How about you, Dr. Seamus?
I'll go with a 2.5, purely on the basis that there was 2 or 3 good matches. There was one great match that brought it up a little bit, but there's just some dog shit in there. Like, some things just could have been better on Raw. Like, some of the segments were good to break up the wrestling because you got to have a couple of sketches, you know. But again, you could have trimmed those down and put those into time with. You could have given Becky some time with Belair. You know, could have given that a little bit, even a couple of minutes, like 5 minutes. Would have been better
man.
than nothing.
7 seconds is fine. Much like
No, we're talking about Becky Lynch, not you with Alexa Bliss.
Oh, that's less than 7 seconds.
6.5 with foreplay.
But yeah, that's definitely one of the lesser pay-per-views this year. Like, there's been some really, really good ones this year. Looking at your Money in the Bank. But yeah, that's mediocre at best.
How about you, JB?
Cut the first 2 hours out of this pay-per-view, and it's fucking 4.5 out of 5. But the fact that we had to endure the first 3 or 4 matches fucking drags us right back to 2.5.
Yeah.
Like, the last 2-3 matches were fucking awesome. I mean, maybe not the Goldberg match, but definitely the last 2. The Rollins Edge match and the Cena Roman Reigns match were good matches. Good matches.
And the triple threat with
The
Charlotte,
females.
Rhea Ripley.
Yeah. That was a good match too. But counteracted by the bullshit filler matches, the bullshit filler fucking Riddle and not Riddle, fucking Miz and fucking just
Morrison.
a lot of dumb shit.
And then the absolute car wreck, that was the Eva Marie Alexa Bliss match.
Let's not go back there again,
And
please.
then Becky Lynch's 7 seconds over Belair. There was just a lot of dumb shit that dragged this show down.
You compare it to like AEW's ones, which are half the time they pack it full of action so you don't get bored.
Imagine if you cut this down by an hour.
Oh god,
You take
so
the
much better.
fucking, take the Lynch out of it. Have Lynch set up. Don't even have the match. Just have a promo set up. Whatever. Take the 2 fucking advertisement spots out of it. Take the Alexa Bliss match out of it. Cut this down by an hour and a half, and you got yourself a good fucking pay-per-view. But unfortunately, you don't really. I mean,
It's bloated.
if I'm gonna watch this back on Blu-ray or whatever,
Please don't.
and it's a 2-disc set, I'm putting the first disc through a fucking wood chipper, and I'm just gonna watch disc 2.
Well,
You require disc 1.
I did
No,
see
I don't.
I did see earlier that they put up a clip from the Alexa Bliss Eva Marie. I nearly call her Eva Green. How can I confuse one of the most beautiful women in the earth with a talentless hack? The Eva Marie match, where they showed the clip of Eva Marie slapping Lily the doll, and WWE had like on the caption for it, they're like, oh, Eva Marie is slapping Lily. And I put a comment down saying, this is the personification of WWE slapping us in the face with both Eva Marie's lack of ability and just this match in general. And I got about 6 people clicking like on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But here's the thing. So in case you don't know, if you're a wrestling fan, I'm just going to spin off a little bit here. AEW had CM Punk debut on Saturday morning Australian time on AEW Rampage to an absolutely massive pop.
And got the personality.
In Chicago. mind
In
you.
Chicago. But it wouldn't have mattered if it was Chicago, New York, who gives a fuckistan. He would have popped huge no matter what, because it's CM Punk. It's the guy who fought against Vince McMahon and said, fuck you, you're an idiot, and walked out. AEW now seems like a genuinely credible threat to WWE because of Vince sitting there going, they don't matter, they're not our competition. And just Tony Khan and all the guys in AEW's willingness to take the war to WWE.
To give it a good comparison, Jericho and Punk are Nash and Hall of what, of the past. They're the outsiders going in, and they are going to sway the balance of what the pinnacle of wrestling, quote, wrestling is at the moment, which is WWE, and AEW are now, coming up to the level with, well, they already have been on the level with the quality of matches, but now with the star power that they bring, they're going to bring a lot of people with them.
If they can swing the pendulum across their way a bit, that is the only way Vince McMahon is even going to consider freshening up this product.
Well, the sad thing about it is that because NXT got beaten by AEW until NXT changed nights and went to Tuesday nights, and then Vince took it personally as they beat us, so now he is taking more control of NXT away from Triple H.
And making it worse.
And making it worse. I mean, just there was a gap before where I was going to throw to JB and I got a little bit distracted. It's because Sheamus was showing me a breaking story that Adam Cole has indeed left WWE and is most likely AEW bound. So that match he had at TakeOver today that I haven't watched is in fact his last match in NXT. That is a dumb move letting Adam Cole go. Much like letting Bray Wyatt go, Braun Strowman go, CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, Bobby Fish, Mercedes Martinez. There's so many people that have been let go by WWE because they are so... Vince, John Laryngitis, and Bruce Pritchard are stuck in 1985.
They broke up the Undisputed Era. Arguably one of the best factions in all of wrestling.
It was
like everybody agreed that they were perfect together.
Then you could bring the four of them up and have a modern day NWO.
Yep.
And it would have drawn, it would have buzzed, and instead their narrow-sightedness has just fucked it all up. And now AEW is going to reap the benefits of it.
And I hope they do, because the only way this product was going to change was credible fucking competition for the first time since 2000, or Vince McMahon dies. And it looks like it's going to be the former before the latter, because I don't know how Vince hasn't had a fucking heart attack, to be honest, but he's still going. And sooner or later, AEW is going to be on par with WWE.
Well, the program that CM Punk debuted on, Rampage, which only goes for an hour, it runs at the same time as SmackDown.
Yeah.
Their main program, Dynamite, runs on Wednesday nights. I think Dynamite needs to go head-to-head with Raw. If they want to be a credible threat to WWE and teach Vince McMahon a lesson that the only other person who's ever taught Vince McMahon a lesson like this before was Ted Turner and Eric Bischoff from 1995 through to 2001 with Nitro.
Yeah.
The problem about that is Cody himself has said he doesn't want to do that. He doesn't want to go head-to-head with them because he doesn't want to see them as direct competition, even though they are. He wants to focus on the talent, which is a much better mindset to have rather than being, we got to beat these guys in the ratings, guys. Rather than just saying, we've got to build these guys up instead.
It could be a problem because then if you start losing ratings wars or winning rating wars, it's like you start doing dumb shit.
Yeah.
To try and draw fucking eyeballs.
Well, that's what Impact did when Hogan and Bischoff went to Impact. They moved Impact. They went to TNA. And they moved their main program, Impact, to Monday nights to compete against WWE. And they got absolutely thrashed. But they don't have the accessibility that WCW had, which is also what AEW has. AEW is on TNT, which is the same network that Nitro was on.
Yep.
The money.
Yeah, because wasn't Impact on some fucking backwoods Discovery Channel fucking thing?
Yeah.
They're on Spike.
Yeah.
No, this was post-Spike.
Oh,
yeah, no,
they were on a different
Impact.
one before that, yeah.
Impact was on like fucking Discovery Channel. Like, it
they
was
were
weird.
They were on like a country channel or something.
Yeah.
It was,
So look, I mean, we sit here and we've seen a pay-per-view now with 3 good matches and 4 or 5 shit ones. And WWE just needs to cut the fat out. And they don't know how to. They keep giving us this filler shit, which is just annoying.
It's because Vince McMahon keeps going back to the Hulk Hogan style playbook of the 80s.
I think I said this on our original fucking one. Like, now that WWE is on a network and pay-per-views don't have a time limit. Like,
It was on our first one. Yeah.
and we don't have to pay $60 a pop for a pay-per-view now. so he can just do whatever the fuck he wants. Could you imagine paying $60 for a pay-per-view in '99 and Austin coming out doing a fucking advertisement for fucking water bottle? You'd lose your shit.
Yeah.
Like, fucking Miz and Johnny Drip Drip coming out and advertising water. Like, a water company.
They could have had a match.
They could have had a match. They could have fucking done something, anything.
Goes back to the World Wrestling Entertainment.
It's just
That's what
World
Vince
Wrestling
likes to-
advertisement.
Yeah, it was what Vince wants to circle around it being a entertainment business over
Yeah,
a
'cause
wrestling business.
He doesn't like the word wrestling, yet the name of his company is World Wrestling Entertainment.
That's what brought him to the dance in the first place.
You know, he's just a walking contradiction, and he is completely out of whack. And the only person, or the only two people in his company who seem to have any clue about what a wrestling company should be doing is, unfortunately, his idiot son-in-law, Triple H, and his best mate, Shawn Michaels. And they're the ones getting kneecapped by this silly old coot who's sitting there taking half of his roster and going, nah, too small, too old, too this, too that, don't need them, send them to AEW, because AEW is not our competition. The Simpsons is our competition. The Simpsons is your competition. Are you deranged, Vince?
Yes,
Are
he
you
is.
mad?
Yes.
Has reality left your brain? Have you been taking the same drugs that Macho Man and Hulk Hogan were on back in the day?
Oh, yeah.
When they sat there and formed the Mega Powers. Yeah, the Mega Powers. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, the Mega Powers. Because you've had your 15 minutes, your cup of coffee in the big time, Vince. And I'm quoting Macho Man because that's how deranged your viewpoint is. He's absolutely bonkers mad.
That's it.
And the simple fact now that all the other territories, because now we seem to have territories again. You've got AEW, New Japan, Impact, NWA, CZW, CMLL, God knows who else.
AAA,
AAA,
Ring of Honor.
Ring of Honor,
NGPW, New Japan.
He said Japan.
and
Whatever.
they're all working together because they've all had enough of Vince McMahon.
They've all
And
opened the
he's-
forbidden door.
And then the monopoly is done.
And the sad part about WWE is their product, if you really are honest with yourself, their product has been shit for 20 years. Since ECW and WCW went under, the writing of WWE has become appalling. We said this on the mystery episode that we recorded, but technical reasons it was lost last week when we watched ECW. The worst match on the ECW One Night Stand 2005 pay-per-view was, I think it was a 2-star or a 3-star. If they put that match on a current WWE pay-per-view, we'd be sitting there saying it was 5 stars. That's how poor the current product is.
Yeah.
But in a few weeks, we're going to have something to compare it to. Because the next pay-per-view we're going to be sitting down and watching and doing a review on is AEW All Out. I'm finally going to bite the bullet and buy an AEW pay-per-view.
In Chicago.
The only problem I've got with the AEW product, besides the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega treating matches like they're a playful little romp, I do agree with Jim Cornette on that, is they got to fix their audio production. You know, like entrance music hits and it's just drowned out because it's just arena sound. It's not piped in direct from the desk. And when someone like CM Punk is cutting a promo on a microphone, you get the direct audio from the microphone, plus you also get the audio from the crowd mics that feed it back through, so it sounds like he's got reverb. But other than that, I'm looking forward to watching All Out to see CM Punk versus Darby Allin. and seeing the Young Bucks versus whoever wins the tag team turmoil tournament or whatever it's called.
It's Jurassic Express versus whoever wins the
Private Party.
private party. Yeah, should be good.
So, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what you could call WCW 2.0 and how it compares to the summer flagship program from WWE.
Surely will. All right. It's
Anyway.
fucking midnight. We're about to turn into pumpkins, lads. The clock's striking midnight, and our glass slipper's about to fall off.
You got to wear an orange shirt, close enough.
That's it.
All right, well, thank you, everyone. Thank you, JB. Thank you, Dr. Seamus, for being a part of this episode. And we will catch you in a couple of weeks with AEW All Out. Click the like, the subscribe, all the other stuff that Watch Mojo loves to ram down your throat. And we will see you in a couple of weeks. So thank you for tuning in, and goodbye.
Bye.
See ya.